Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about some positional issues involving the supine, lying face up, 90-90 with hip shift. And this exercise is for the left hamstring and the left obliques in particular. And it is one of the main techniques used for pelvic and rib cage repositioning with postural restoration. And it's probably, if you look around on the internet, on YouTube, it's probably the most widely displayed exercise because it is one of those basic fundamental exercises, and it includes everything that someone's actually going to need. It doesn't mean it's going to be the only exercise someone needs. That's not usually the case, but it is so fundamental because it is reversing the pattern that we all find ourselves in, which is that left AIC, right BC pattern. Remember, this pattern is not a bad thing. It's completely normal. It's only bad if you get stuck in it, because this pattern should alternate with the opposite pattern, which would be a right AIC, left BC pattern. So you have one pattern for the right side of your body and another pattern for the left side of your body. And the alternation between those two patterns is what moves us forward as we walk and breathe. Okay, so when you're stuck in the left AIC pattern, if you're looking at someone's pelvis, so this would be my pelvis if I'm lying down. So you're looking towards me. This is the right side of the pelvis. This is the left side of the pelvis. In the left AIC pattern, the left side of the pelvis comes forward and it orients the entire pelvis to the right. That's really important to remember during the hip shift exercise. On top of that, here's the rib cage. When the pelvis orients to the right, notice what the rib cage has to do. It has to rotate back to the left in order for your head to stay straight. So the pelvis orients right in the left AIC pattern. The rib cage counter-rotates back to the left in the right BC pattern. That is what your body should do if you are on your right leg. It is not what your body should do if you're on your left leg, and therein lies the problem. You don't alternate between patterns. So what does the what does the supine 90-90 with hip shift do? Well, at the pelvis, you raise your butt up off the ground. Here's the right side. You shift the right knee forward. And what does that do? It orients the entire pelvis to the left, which is what we're trying to accomplish, to reverse the pattern. Then you take the weight off the right foot, and only the left foot is remaining on the wall. At that point, you have a hamstring kick in to pull the left side of the pelvis back into a neutral position. All right. Now, when that pelvis is oriented to the left, which should happen when we're on our left leg, that's why we're using our left hamstring, the rib cage counter-rotates back to the right. So that is the opposite of what is occurring in the left AIC, right BC pattern, where the rib cage is counter-rotating back to the left. So we have a pelvis. When you shift the right knee forward, the pelvis orients to the left. And the torso, because it's lying, it's not really going to counter-rotate. It's going to be in that counter-rotated position because it's lying flat on the floor. So when we say that this exercise is for the left hamstring, it is for the left hamstring, but it is also completely counteracting the pattern that we are stuck in. It is establishing, or attempting to establish, the opposite pattern, the left side pattern that we need when we are on our left leg. So now that we have that out of the way, the common issues I see with people doing this when they can't get it right. First, foot placement. Everything starts with foot placement. Your foot has to be flat on the wall. Your foot is a sensory organ. It gives your brain tons of information as to what you are doing, where you are going, and where you are. Remember, your brain is blind. It requires sensory information, particularly from your eyes and your feet, to give it reference as to where it is in the world and what action it is doing. All right, so you need this information from your foot with sensory input from the ground to activate your muscles properly. At heel strike, when your heel hits the ground, that should kick in the left hamstring. So when your foot is flat on the wall, you should sense your left heel. That doesn't mean you take your toes off the ground, off the wall. It just means you bring your awareness to your left heel. That sounds weird, but that can be the difference between feeling the exercise in the hamstring and not feeling the exercise in the hamstring. Okay, so when the foot is flat, you don't want your weight towards the toe. That happens quite often. People lift their heel off the wall as they're shifting their knees, and they cease to sense the whole foot on the wall. So the foot has to stay flat, and you want to sense your left heel of your left foot as you're doing this exercise. Number 2, some people push into the wall. You don't want to be a pusher, you want to be a puller. So once you lift that butt up, and your butt is slightly off the ground, so your lower back stays flat, you want to think about pulling your left foot down towards the wall, towards the ground, I'm sorry. You do not want to push into the wall. If you are pushing into the wall, you will turn on your left quad and your left hip flexor, and those are the muscles we are trying to turn off. Number 3, I kind of briefly mentioned it. When you pick your butt up, your lower back on the left side has to stay flat on the floor. If it comes up too high, you're going to arch as you breathe. That's not what you want. You just want your butt high enough off the floor for gravity to start to act to push you down, and that should kick in your left hamstring. If you're too low, your body weight won't be high enough to kick in the left hamstring. So you have to find that happy medium of not too high, not too low. I would err on the side of lower, but again, your butt has to be high enough so that you'll feel the left hamstring kick in because gravity is starting to force you down. Number 4, you need to fully exhale. So you're going to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So you inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. You should feel your ribs on the left side moving down, back, and in. Pause 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, don't breathe. 2, don't breathe. 1. Notice your left lower back on the floor. This is very, very important. Gently inhale. See if you can feel air going into your upper right chest wall. Okay, so we exhale. We're accentuating the exhalation. We pause, and then we gently inhale through our nose. Lower back has to stay flat as you do this. 5 breaths. The last thing I would say is make sure you use a little ball and put it between your knees. You don't have to, but it actually works a little bit better. And what you can do is when you're in that position for the 90-90 with your left knee, you push into the ball a little bit with your left knee. You may feel a little bit of left inner thigh, which is very beneficial. But if you don't, no big deal. We really just want that left hamstring and focus on exhalation. If you found anything in this video to be helpful or interesting, or you think it could help other people, could you do me a favor and like it, share it, or best yet, could you subscribe? Because the more subscribers you have, the more YouTube thinks this is important. And I've gotten a lot of emails from people who have had their lives changed by this information because they didn't know postural restoration existed.